Hey guys, want to welcome you back to an exciting chemistry class. But today we want to talk about something slightly different, but off topic. I want to talk about ethics in science. All right? And the reason why I want to talk about this topic, the reason why it's so important is that we have to make choices. And I want us to make wise choices because the choices that we make today have significant consequence for tomorrow. So I just want to make sure that we understand how to make wise choices. So we're going to talk initially about ethics, then I want to focus on the undergraduate settings for now. We can talk about the other topics like for grad studies, postdocs, academy, industry at a later time. So let's just focus on the definition for now. Then let's look at the undergraduate setting. All right. So what is ethics? So according to the Chambers Dictionary, ethics is the science of morals, a branch philosophy which is concerned with human character and conduct. I don't know if that makes sense to you. In terms of ethical practices in science, it's no different from ethical practice in any aspect of life. So whether you're in business, whether you're in law, whether you're teaching, whether you're at home, it doesn't matter. It's the same principle across the board. And what I want to focus more is on the term, the moral aspect of that. All right. So there's a difference between ethics and morals, right? So while they might be used interchangeably, they are different. All right, so ethics refers to rules that are provided by an external source. So it's like the code of conduct in the workplace. So whether you are in the law firm, whether you're in the business firm, whether you're in religion, there are rules that are imposed from an external source, where morals refers to the individual's own principles regarding right and wrong, and that comes from your value system, in terms of what your value system, what your core belief system is, right? Because we could have a scenario where we work in a law company and they have certain ethics or certain standards how we operate. Like in medicine, the doctors have to take the Hippocratic oath in terms of how they conduct medicine. And these are rules that are imposed upon us, but at the same time, we have to focus on morals, which pretty much determines what we do, what we consider to be right or wrong. All right. So I want to focus more on the morals in terms of the choices that you make, and are those choices right, or are those choices wrong? All right. So at some point in your life, you will experience an ethical issue. Everyone does that, right? We have scenarios where students will work hard, get the due recognition. We have other scenarios where students will cheat and face academic misconduct or even expulsion, which is serious. We have companies that fail because of accounting fraud, of Wall Street, that issue. We have companies that do well because they operate in an ethical manner. In academia, you have some faculty that lead exemplary careers, while others are charged with academic misconduct for falsification of research data. We do have that, believe it or not. All right. So we want to focus in terms of, are we making the wise choices, the right moral choices, or value system? What's going on, right? So look at this diagram. You have, what do these terms mean in terms of plagiarism? I always ask you guys, what is plagiarism? And everyone says, I know what plagiarism is. But when I point out that if you guys work together, you can't write the identical stuff, they say, oh, I didn't know that was plagiarism. Yes, it is. You have the issue of fraud in trying to deceive your instructor. Facilitation. So you may be in an exam and you might not be cheating in the sense of looking at someone else's work, but if you allow someone to look at your work, you're kind of facilitating the process, and that is in some sense cheating, right? You could fabricate data or falsify data, sabotage someone. They're all issues that we have to face. And the question is, do you plead guilty? Are you guilty? All right. So what I'm going to focus on briefly is just what happens in the undergraduate setting. So this is you I'm talking about here. All right. So we'll always face temptation. So temptation to cheat is widespread, and some persons or students will succumb to temptation. And as you know, you guys are sophisticated, right? Cheating is pretty much easy nowadays. In terms of doing tests, that's relatively easy. You guys have your cell phones, you have your group chats, you can talk with each other. You have issues where students will steal copies of exams or remove materials from the library. That makes it difficult for others to get that information. You have issues like you have ghostwriters, where you have other persons writing your reports for you. Believe it or not. You have issues where students turn in lab reports, but they never came to the lab. They never did the lab, but their lab report is turned in. You have issues where you are in the lab, your experiment is not working, your data is you're getting poor data, but you instead of using what you have and explaining why you got the data that you get, you try to use better data from archives of previous lab reports. You're taking someone else's work and making it your own instead of reporting what you got. You have students who will plagiarize their reports without acknowledging the source where they got the data from. You have students who take quizzes online in group, right? So you have cases where students are submitted quiz within 4 minutes when it takes 20 minutes because everyone sits around on the same computer and submits the grade. So why is this happening? It happens when we ask the question, what is our focus? So if our focus is only on grades, in terms of getting your desired grades, what happens then is that our moral compass becomes clouded, right? So we'll steal, we'll lie, we'll cheat in order to get the desired result, right? And as I said before, we have to face that, we have to deal with that, right? So here are a few examples which you might be familiar with. Your instructor giving an exam, you are passing papers around. You're using your cell phone to pull down information. You're cheating off another student's report. You're writing data on your hands or on your cell phones, on paper. It's much more sophisticated now, much more high tech, right? So the question is, are you cheating? Right? And if you're cheating, are you going to stop? What are you going to do about it? Right? So what I'm saying is that personal ethics is everything, because values matters and your character counts. And the truth is that the toughest choices are made easier if you have a strong internal compass and know which way it points. Is it pointing right? Let's keep it pointing right. Because the values are what guides us, or what guides your behavior when no one is watching and you do not think anyone will find out. So you have to make that internal compass, that choice for yourself, right? But if you have cheated or you're cheating, remember, change is possible. That's a key statement. Change is possible, right? You may say, but everyone does it. I need the grade to get into med school or to wherever you want to get into, right? You say, I'm under pressure. There's just so much work to be done. It's hard pressure. I don't have enough time. So I gotta cheat. So, but what I'm saying is that if you succumb to the temptation, just realize that is a mistake. We're not trying to come down heavy on you. We're just saying that realize the mistake that you make and make a change. Put it behind you, understand what led you to fail, and work to prevent it from happening again, right? Otherwise, you may end up losing everything. That's a takeaway message, right? So don't just plagiarize because you feel that, hey, I feel it needs repeating, as shown in the diagram here, right? We're saying you can make a change and make that change today, make that change now.